just go day by day, and whatever comes your way, you kind of approach that thing at the time. You don't hold on to it. Because it's hard if you really want the job, and then you have an audition, and you're thinking about it all the time. Are they going to call? Are they going to call? And this can drive you mad. So you focus on the work, you do the hard work as much as you can, and then you let it go. And if it comes to you, it comes to you, and if not, it doesn't. But you have to have this attitude, otherwise you can drive yourself crazy.
As we are on Comic Con, is there any character you have one of the best characters? Constantine is.
Right, so lucky, yeah.
But is there any other you would like to try?
I grew up with Christopher Reeve's Superman and Michael Keaton's Batman, and I love Batman growing up. I think there's a similarity between Batman and John Constantine as well. They're both, normal guys. They don't have superpowers, so to speak. And they both got Batman is vengeance, and with Constantine it's self-torture, and guilt and shame and all those wonderful things. But so Batman was always a character that I really liked. I think it's because he's human and he has human flaws, and this is something that is really interesting.
We will go to Constantine later, but yesterday we missed Assassin's Creed Black Flag. So what did you do?
I love doing it. Yeah, I think it was one of the first video games that started doing motion capture properly. And I remember the helmet. After about 30 minutes of wearing the helmet, just had a terrible migraine because there was this clamp, and they would tighten the helmet. They're like, oh my god, I can't even breathe. But after a while, I get used to it, and I really enjoy this medium because. For me, I grew up in Wales, a small coal mining town, and we always used to run off and play in the forest, And when you're a kid, you use your imagination, you pick up a stick, and the stick is like a gun, and you run around, pretending to play acting. And this part of your imagination, I think, when you're doing motion capture, this really comes into play because, you have a stick, and the stick can be a gun, or the stick can be a sword, like in Assassin's Creed, so you have to imagine these things and really kind of invoke that part of your imagination. And it was the first time that I'd done this, and I found it fascinating. But I'd like to do more actually.
It is really different from actually movies.
Yeah. Well, the one thing is you don't wear the costume, which is a shame. You're in a tight lycra suit with dots all over you, And then you look at the character and you're like, whoa, he looks so cool. It's a fun medium to play in.
Do you play games?
I do play games, yeah. I play FIFA. I like playing football, so I'm a football fan. I play as Manchester United. I also play Destiny 2, a little bit of Call of Duty, but not very good. And the young kids online, they just put my bum. So normally I like to stick to their campaigns and stuff. But yeah, and I have played the original Assassin's Creed. And when I got the role, I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. My 10-year-old self was like freaking out. Yeah, it was really cool.
Excellent. We have some really good questions in the app about the Assassin's Creed. Are there any character traits you share with John and Edward, and similarities between you and your characters?
I don't know. Maybe. I think that John and Edward have a lot in common in certain ways, What I loved about Edward is he's someone who is, trying to find a new life and let go of the constraints of where he comes from and who people perceive him to be. And he wants to go and make his life for himself. So I suppose, I'm from Wales. I left Wales when I was 19, to try and be an actor, and I went to London and then later on to America, and I think that maybe we have that in common, that we both kind of come from a small town and wanted to kind of, make something of ourselves and go off. I think that maybe John, interesting, because John has so many interesting character traits, I think that there's a little bit of John in all of us in a way. What I love about him is his self-deprecating nature, and the fact that no matter what happens, even, sometimes he runs away from a problem, but he'll always come back to it and he'll always try and get the job done. And I think that there was this time over the pandemic when, I think it was difficult for a lot of people. And one of my friends, I was talking to one of my friends, and I was locked in my house in Wales, and I was getting cabin fever and all of this stuff. And he said, you've got to channel a little bit of your inner John Constantine, which is like, get on with it, push through. John has this wonderful ability to kind of like, to get things done even though it hurts him and the world and his friends and everything, So yeah.
I have a slightly philosophical question. Did you learn anything about yourself while making Assassin's Creed Black Flag? Did you adopt the creed?
No. Well, I didn't adopt the creed, but what was funny is I've done a couple of Comic Cons where there's groups of the Assassin's Creed fans that literally they go around. And there was one, I can't remember where it was, but they adopted me into their creed, which was really cool, Yeah.
So let's go to Constantine. How did you get involved?